Hello and welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
Hi, I'm Larry.
Tara. Kaila.
And I'm Josh. And we are going to be going all the way back to episode number 1. And we're going to be revisiting the very first discussion that we went over, and it's also the very first video that we released on our channel.
I remember watching it when you released it. I was not a part of the Literary Gladiators team yet, and I wanted to be in that moment. So I think I sent you a message right away and said, "Hey, Josh, if you ever need anybody, let me know." It wasn't, what was it, season 2 or 3 that you...
It was in season 2. I'll tell you the story about... we're going over Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. But the story with... Yeah, you had said something, and you had said if you... anything... Because I know you had...
yeah, I was part of the video club over
you were part of the
OCC.
Yeah, you were part of the video club among many of other clubs.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you on TV 20 when you were part of the environmental club.
Yes.
Because you did that... this is Larry with the environmental club, and you're watching OCC TV 20.
That's right.
Yeah, you had made mention, and you would possibly be able to give your expertise, and I kept you in mind. But what happened was, in season 2, we were supposed to have, her name is, she actually worked with Kel and Lainey at the Writing Center. Danielle, her maiden name was Murphy, now she's Pietnochka. I was going to have her on the panel, but she backed out a few weeks before the session, and Lily was not going to be around at the time, so I asked you if you would be interested in hopping in, and you said that you would, and that the rest has been history.
I loved it. Yeah, right from the beginning. As soon as I saw this episode, the first thing I did was I looked up the poem because I wanted to see how much I agreed with you guys about it. And I read the poem and came to my own conclusions about it. But yeah, I thought the format was great, and I couldn't wait to get involved in it in any way that I could. So it's hard to believe that we've been doing it for over 10 years now.
Yeah, this is 11 years. We filmed this on December 19th, 2013. It was after my young adult literature class. I was in, and it was 5 of us that were in the same class together. It was myself, Charlie, Christine, Lily, and Roman. And we snuck into our YA literature class room, Gateway 429, and we set up and filmed our first discussion. And the rest has been... And that was the way we were doing it, between that and filming in my basement, until I was able to talk with the late great Michelle from Student Life at Kane, about going about reserving space the more honest way.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were renegades like that. Gateway 429, I remember those days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I miss filming in Gateway 429. I love filming here, but yeah. I liked filming there too. It was, and you had the scene, you had the background of, because it was on the 4th floor, and so you had a background of all. You had the forest and the trees.
Yeah.
That you could see, and the skyline. I mean, from the 4th floor, you could see Seaside Heights.
Yes, indeed.
So.
Yeah, the Gateway building is the tallest point now in Toms River.
Mm.
Yeah.
Quite something. And I mean, the highest is the 5th floor, but it's just that when you have... Actually, no, you can access it by elevator, but it goes right to the like a banquet room.
Yeah. Well, when I was a part of the TV 20 team, we got to go up on the roof and shoot up there too. Which was quite something to see. You could see the hangars from Lakehurst and all that. So you could see the whole town from up there. So it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Any memories you guys wanted to share? Because I know that Larry and I were sharing a lot of memories.
No, I'm good.
Because I remember, the Tara...
When did you join, Kayla? How long have you been doing this?
don't know. Josh knows the dates.
Yeah.
Josh keeps the tabs. I just show up.
Kaila started in season 4, and my story was Kel and I were talking about what we wanted to do for the 4th season, and I asked Kel about people that they might be interested in recruiting or suggesting to me, and they mentioned their fiance, their now by the time their partner Malcolm, and there was somebody else that they mentioned because we went to Friendly's, then we went to the mall and started discussing material, and on the way out of the mall they suggested Kaila. Kaila Rotzma, who that's who you were at the time.
Yeah.
And we go to Barnes & Noble once a month, and I think that she'd be perfect for the show. Because because I know there was a Kaila on Kel's on their Goodreads, but I didn't know so much the connection. But
yeah, it's been a match made in heaven ever since, right?
Absolutely, and yeah, I remember that was a fun first session too.
Yeah.
That was one of the because it was because I just love the way that the sessions are structured. Are just I could go on about that, and Tara's more recent. Tara started in season 15, which is our reboot. But I know I met Tara at ShopRite. We were in the break room. We were just talking about books, and I just wanted to mention. Oh, I'm Josh, and I'm Tara, because we were talking about the books and the material. We just never properly introduced ourselves, and then when Tara told me she was a booktuber, I told her, "Oh, you have to be on board for Literary Gladiators."
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, and then initially I only had her for one session, but then she said, "I want to be on every session."
Oh wow.
So,
are you really on every session though?
I try to. I try to be at least like in at least 1 or 2 works. Try hard.
she's been at every session for season 16 and season 17. Not every work, not every episode, but every session.
And I also remember after the first death and sweat. Those 2 things I remember the most.
Yeah, I remember that discussion about after the first death. I remember both of them, but the discussion starter that I have for The Road Not Taken is that The Road Not Taken was the very first video we filmed for our channel, not just our first discussion, but our first video. And we filmed it in Gateway 429 on December 19th, 2013, and released it on February 11th, 2014. This particular poem is commonly discussed in both the school setting and the general setting for its philosophical meaning. My discussion starter is, what do you believe is the underlying message to this poem, and why do you believe this poem was written?
Well, to me, the poem is about life, where in the aspect of life in which it's choices, and you have to choose something, and sometimes that choice is at the exclusion of something else, and in doing so, your life becomes what it is. You know, so it's like every choice that you make leads you somewhere that you have to, give up something in order to choose, whatever it is that you're going to choose. So I think that's what it's getting at, is that aspect of life.
But whether or not the poem, because it is a choice that has to be made and is made, but as the last line says, and that's what, and that has made all the difference. Whether or not it's a positive difference or a negative difference is one that is left up to interpretation. We never get the result from the speaker, and from I was also referring to this Frost the Poet and his poetry, which I want to read in its entirety. I read the biographical information, but I also read the evaluation that they had as far as The Road Not Taken is concerned, and they point out that there's this that different lines say different things, where on one hand they do take it from a positive note, but on the other hand it's a negative note. And
in the moment where you're making the choice, you don't know.
No,
you
don't.
And it seems like that's what seems like he's in the moment.
Yeah, he's in the moment, And so, he's trying to look as far down each path as he can.
Yes.
But, you can only see so far. So whether or not it's going to be good or not.
And I love the different, like he mentions that on one of them, it's grassy and has wanted wear, but yet it's not much different from the other path at hand.
Yeah.
I think there's something too in this poem from the way he describes them to be said for taking the less easy path, right? Like, life has worn its course and it's easy to keep going along with the days. They come and they come and they come and they're all the same, and life doesn't offer much variety. But if we remember to step outside of our comfort zone every now and then and try something that's a little bit less path worn, then we might end up learning something new. We might end up seeing something new.
He took the one less traveled by.
Yeah.
And
growing as a person more.
and sometimes people refer to this as the road less traveled, which there was somebody that I think that one of the works mentioned it, and it's the road not taken. Come on, because I'm very finicky with that. Where people they just keep saying, it's this, it's the road less traveled. No, it's not. It's the road not taken. So, but anyway, that is a major pinnacle of that poem. Still, that he went the road less traveled.
Yes, well,
and it made all the difference.
And it implies that by being less traveled, it will be more difficult, because most people are going to do the easy thing, or follow the crowd, so to speak.
But like the best thing to do for yourself is to do the hard, and that's when you're doing it. That's when it's good.
Yeah, well,
Change happens.
It depends. It depends. It all
You gotta
depends.
be in that discomfort in order to change as a person, because you don't want to be like assimilated.
I think that since the 11 years that I've read this, I actually have started, because I've done more reading about Robert Frost's background and his poetry, and I actually have to take a path that, no pun intended, is similar to what Christine took on the first episode, and Dr. Moores, who brought this up in a Critical Approaches to Literature class, did, and that this is not so much about its face value, but it's about the greater picture in which the stories that Frost wrote this about an indecisive friend of his that always pondered the decisions of life, and that this is a poem not so much about which path one should take, whether or not it's the commonly taken path or the one less commonly taken, but more so a commentary on indecisiveness.
And the act of choosing itself.
Because to me, Frost was a genre unto himself. People often consider him to be modernist, and I actually what really stuck out in this, in the book that I mentioned, Poet and His Poetry, that it said that Frost resisted labels. On NBC's Conversation program, the interviewer stated that authors and critics had labeled him as a nature poet, a New England Yankee, symbolist, humanist, and other things. Which did he consider true? And he said, I take them all. Take them and put my arms around them, he said. And by embracing them all, he avoided each of them. Which, to me, because when reading Mending Wall, to me it was about conformity within society, where people, that's the way I interpreted it, because he talks about this person that follows what he has been taught, that great fences make great neighbors, while someone else, even though he's going along with it, is questioning the practices that society has placed upon people. And as far as, and after getting that information and learning more about Frost, I've started to see it more in that light, where The Road Not Taken, as much as we've probably gone over it more, it's probably the most familiar poem that I equate to high school poetry or just general education poetry. While it was, for its surface level, about the speaker pondering a decision. It was about somebody watching the speaker ponder a decision and seek amusement from it.
And he thought it was, he did it, he wrote it as like kind of like a joke to him. All jokes aside, it's a really good talking piece. In like, because I read an article where he was doing a speech at some college, and they all thought, he probably thought, oh, they know it was a joke and all that, but like they all took him seriously, and he has a quote from about like something along the lines, maybe something about his jokes. I forget. It's like
Poems are always, the poem is always up for interpretation once it's been written. It's not. It's also, there's a death of the author is what it's called, because once it's out there, it doesn't. It's not necessarily. I mean, I like to follow the rule that unless the author states that it's themselves, the work is free. It's up for interpretation, free game, whatnot. But and that, I think that what we've traditionally equated to this poem, the arguments are valid, and I think that it's always interesting food for thought. It's interesting way at approaching situations and not necessarily going with the crowd. But when you look at it from the greater picture, it's still very. It makes it all the more enthralling, and it shows how much of a genius Robert Frost was.
Yeah, again, there are choices that you have to make, and when you do so, you are excluding all other options.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is a real part of life,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not something to be taken lightly. And it's also something that, is subtle at times, where, you're making a decision and you don't know that it's going to lead you to the exclusion of all these things. Like, you might do something, and like, maybe you have one too many beers at a party, and you leave and you get into an accident and you end up losing your license, you know what I mean? Or something like that, where at the time you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to go out and lose my license tonight. But it's something that happens because of the fact that you made a choice, at the same time. So.
And when you drink, it impairs your judgment too.
Yeah, that's true. So, when you're talking about how the paths, they seem very similar, it's like, that sometimes the choices that you are making that can have life-changing consequences are very subtle.
Yeah, like it doesn't seem like much in the moment, like having one more beer.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any final thoughts?
I think I said everything I wanted to.
Yeah.
It seems very, it seems like we got what we needed to out of this, and the discussion was very fulfilling.
Yeah, I agree. Good call.
Oh, you know what? I do want to make one more point, actually.
Go
I think
ahead.
this is a really good work for us to revisit, because it was the first work that you guys ever did, and how grateful all of us who have been part of Literary Gladiators probably are that you, Josh, chose to take the road less taken.
Yeah,
Right?
that's a good point.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
We're all
very
here
fitting.
because you chose the less easy path.
Yeah. Yeah, you decided to challenge yourself and do something that nobody else was doing. And as such, we've had, more than 11
Countless
years of
discussions.
talking about all these great works of literature that most of which we probably would have never even experienced. if
Yeah,
it
new
wasn't for the show.
friends, new experiences.
Absolutely.
And I do my best, and I think that the decisions I made were less traditional, but I think that ultimately it worked out. At least I think it made me happy and fulfilled, and I hope the same could be said for everybody else.
It truly has made all the difference.
It does.
I hope it's a good difference.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty then. If you are interested in reading the complete poetry of Robert Frost, here is my copy. This one is from Mountain Interval, that collection. But we've gone over quite a few of his poems. I'd like to go over more. Mending Wall is probably a favorite of mine. I also liked his... We went over it in season... We went over it in season 5. me if I don't find it. I think it'd be much quicker just to go on my phone and look at my season 5 playlist. Oh, no. I'm the one that's going to be having the trouble with that. I'm going to edit it.
It's a problem for post.
Let's see here. I'm going on my site.
Dun, 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 dun.
It'll be like like when we did the road and I had that
What are we looking up?
outtake of me. Oh, I know it now. Home burial.
Home burial.
It was,
That's the second time this season that discussion has come up.
It was home burial from season 5. And I want to thank you for tuning in to this discussion here on Literary Gladiators. I hope that you were fulfilled by our revisitation of our very first discussion here on the show. I hope you join us next time for the Season 17 finale here on Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.